Okay, 5.2, number 8. Let's see, we got what, 8 to 12? List the outcomes in E or H. Oops. What is E or H here? Oh, I didn't write them down. List the outcomes in E or H. Now find the probability of E or H by counting the number of outcomes in E or H. Determine the probability of E or H using the general addition rule. I gotta pause this here. Hold on. There we go. S. So at the beginning, which I didn't get the picture in the picture, it says S is your sample space. So, and these are your events. Event E is getting a 1, 2, or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, F and G and H and so forth. And it also says assume that each outcome is equally likely. So in other words, you have the same chance of getting a 2 as you do a 3 as you do of getting a 9 or 10. So there's no one's more likely to happen than the other. So number 8, list the outcomes in E or H. So E or H would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, oops, or H. So there's E, and H is 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So there's E or H. And the probability of E or H happening is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of how many in all of the sample space? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Which is going to be 1/2. Does that make sense? Or 50%. Okay, so there's 8. Number 9. 9 says list the outcomes of in E and G. E and G. E and G. E is 2 to 7, G is 9 to 10, so E and G is nothing. We write that with nothing in between the brackets, or sometimes we write it like that with a 0 with a line through it. If you're a computer programmer, that means 0 because you put a line through it, but in the math world, that means the empty set or nothing. Okay, so 9, nothing is there, and yes, this is called, or E and G, E and G are called disjoint events or mutually exclusive. Okay, 10. List the outcomes of F and H. F and H. So F and H are 2, 3, 4. Now it's F and H together at the same time. They don't have anything in common either, so there's nothing in common. So that's the empty set. And so yes, they're disjoint. 11. List the outcomes of E complement. That means everything not in E. So E complement would be 1, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And the probability of E complement is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 12, or 50%. And 12 F complement is 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 11, 12. And the probability of F complement would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 out of 12. Okay. All right. That would be 8 to 12. And let's take a look at 13 to 20. We've got find the probability of the indicated event. E is 0.25. F is 0.45. So let's see if we can do 13. E or F. Let's get this over here. That's the probability of E plus the probability of F minus the probability of E and F. So probability of E is 0.25, F is 0.45 because they told us, minus both of them together because there might be some overlap. Well, there is some overlap, and that's E and F, which is 0.15. So 25 plus 45 is 0.7 minus 0.15 is 0.55. 14. Find probability of E and F, and they tell us what E or F is. So we're going to use the same formula up here, only I'm going to fill in what I know. I know E or F is 0.6, and E is 0.25. F is 0.45 because they tell us that in the stem of the problem. And they want us to find E and F. So I'm going to go ahead and do 0.6 equals 0.25 plus 0.45 is 0.7 minus the probability of E and F. Well, 0.7 minus 0.1 is 0.6, and algebraically, if I want to do it, I could just add this to the other side and subtract the 6 also, right? I can bring that over and bring that over. And you get the probability of E and F equals 0.1. 15. Let's see, find probability of E or F if E and F are mutually exclusive. Well, that's probability of E plus probability of F minus probability of E and F. If they're mutually exclusive, that means this is 0 because there's nothing in common. And so that would just be 0.25 plus 0.45 is 0.70. Okay. 16. Oops. Probability of E. This is interesting to do this one second. Probability of E and F. If E and F are mutually exclusive, that's just 0. Remember, mutually exclusive events are like this. There's no overlap. So the probability of E and F is 0. 17. Probability of E complement. Well, it's either E or E complement, so it's 1 minus the probability of E. That's like saying the probability of it raining is 20%. Well, the probability of it not raining is 1 minus 20, or 80%. So it's 1 minus the probability of E, which is 0.75, and 18. The probability of F complement is 1 minus the probability of F, which is 1 minus F is 0.45, which is 0.55. Okay, so 13 and 20, and then we'll do 25 on here. Or, you know what? That's a lot of problems. Let's do it on the next video.